What's up, Hillspring? Pastor Justin here. Hey, I want to tell you about the Seek and Serve trip that our youth just took. Now, for those of you that don't know what Seek and Serve is, it was a 5-day journey that we took down to Salem, Oregon to encounter the unsheltered down there and some of the organizations and the people that are on ground zero working with the unsheltered. I can tell you this, it blew me out of the water. I had no idea what we were getting into, and I was the guy that was in charge. So if I could say anything that came out of all of this, and you will hear from some of our leaders and you will hear from some of our students about their experience down there, but I want to say this. If you want to make a difference in someone's life, sheltered, unsheltered, no matter what they're going through, number one, let them know that they matter, they're valued, they are seen, and they are loved. We spend so much time dehumanizing people and putting people down and thinking that we're so much better that people become invisible. Let them know that they're visible. And number two, bring hope. For the unsheltered, what does that look like? It looks like, number one, helping them to dream again. Because for many of them, their dreams are out the window. And then once they start dreaming, help them put a plan together. Help them with their next steps. Because when you have a dream and you have a plan, hope comes back in. And with that, I want you to hear from some of our leaders and some of our students who went on this trip. Grace and peace, Hillspring.
My expectations going to this trip were that homelessness was a motivational problem or a easy fix with the right attitude and the right mindset, but it's so much deeper than that. Is it mental health? Is it legal issues? Is it money issues? Catastrophic events? Motivation was probably the least of the issues that really were a fix. It's not a quick fix. It's not a motivational issue. It's so much deeper than that.
I agreed to go to the Portland trip with the youth group, hoping to get a new perspective on the issue of homelessness and being unsheltered. I've been in law enforcement for 22 years, and I only see one side of the issue, the black and white legal side of it. And I was hoping to gain a new perspective on that by getting to meet these people, getting to know them and hear their stories. And in fact, I did get to meet them and hear their stories. And it does make a difference when you do that.
I'm not really sure what I expected going into this trip, but I definitely did not expect the sheer size of the unsheltered population in Salem. Like, you just go walking down the sidewalks in the central part of town, and there are just people camping out in tents right on the sidewalk. And like, you go to some of the parks too, and there are just massive cities of tents and RVs and little huts and shelters. Like, it's crazy how big of a problem it is compared to here in the Tri-Cities, where you rarely see any unsheltered people.
I feel like I saw God in an unsheltered man named Stacy. He was just really upbeat and he was very inspiring. He was always happy.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot from him and his life story as well, based off of his past experiences. And I feel like he could be an example for all of us to show how we could live and be happy with what we have. Because even for a man in his situation, he was always nice to people and he was always happy and hilarious.
Yeah.
Watching the kids interact with the people that were there, the unsheltered as they called them, the instant connections that were made, everybody was smiling, having fun. That was where I saw God in this whole thing. These people, the unsheltered, they looked like they were enjoying their time talking to us and interacting with us. A lot of laughs. A gentleman by the name of Stacy stood out the most. You could just hear that guy talk and hear him laughing. And you know, he definitely drew a big crowd from everybody. And I think that's where I saw God in the whole thing.
On Sunday when we went to their sermon, and afterwards we were going to have lunch and talk with some of the unsheltered people. And I was nervous to actually go over and talk to anyone. And Ben came up to me and told me to go talk to this one guy who was just on his phone sitting alone. He was facing away from us at first, but then once we started actually having a good conversation with him, that he was fully engaged, he was just all in it. And he really impacted my life the most, I think, on this trip. And then the next day when we were help cleaning, I was the most excited to go see him, I think. And people always are like, God impacts others to help you like move forward, but he really, I think this person, Stacy, really impacted me because his life he's had a hard life, he's made not so great choices, but yet he still tells us kids to always stay in school and make smart decisions, and I find that very fascinating that he knows that he was in a bad spot, but he doesn't want us to be there either.
Whew. How has this trip changed me? One, I have an incredible amount of respect for the kids in this program. These kids held it together. They went down, they were respectful, they were mature, they made a difference. And just know that your kids went out of their way and really were impressive. And that in itself changed me.
This trip has definitely changed how I look at unsheltered people as a whole, and that, you know, just leaving a donation, not seeing their faces, not listening to their stories doesn't have as big of an impact as getting to sit down with them and talk to them and share a meal with them. And it doesn't bring that joy to them and give them back some of their humanity, because sitting down with them, we could tell that it made them feel like an actual person again.
After hearing some of their stories, I feel like I have a little bit more of an understanding for their situation and for the unsheltered community, and
Yeah, for me it was definitely life-changing, because now that I actually understand the hardships and all of the obstacles that they face, I'm definitely in the future going to do my best to seek out the resources that they need and to donate or to help with those resources, so that way I can help the unsheltered community in any